We are here with Sheriff Dave Schilling, and we're going to get an update about what deputies have been up to the past couple hours and the state of the Justice Center. Sheriff, can you tell us what's been going on from your perspective?
Sure. Good morning, Courtney. The day started yesterday, of course, with a roll call and a briefing with the Cleveland Police Department. We're continuing to monitor the intelligence that's coming in about this. I think that this did start out as a peaceful protest. At least that's what the word that we'd gotten largely from the Black Lives Matters group. They had put social media posts out there that they didn't want any troublemakers, and this all kind of started yesterday when people started throwing stuff at the Justice Center. That's when things kind of broke loose. I believe a lot of these folks were outsiders that came in, and they're set on doing damage and causing mayhem. So we secured the building and held the fort down last night.
Yeah, and we heard last night Chief Williams with Cleveland Police talk about that concept of outsiders coming in. Can you give us any kind of insight why police think that at the moment?
Well, from past protests that we've had here, most of them have given some of the high-profile incidents that have occurred in the city over the years. Most of the protests that we've had have been peaceful protests. You get a little larger scale, like what's going down in Akron, what's going on in Columbus, what's going on throughout the country. Many of these people, as I said, they're outsiders, they're hard to identify, but they come equipped. They're carrying backpacks, and they're not carrying their lunches in those backpacks. They have incendiary devices, which they were throwing at the police yesterday. We have no reason to believe that these were local groups that were doing this. And that's what, a lot of these people, they travel the circuit. Who knows where they're traveling to this morning, or if they're still in town here, and, they're going to get things fired up today. We have no way of knowing that, so we just continue to monitor our intelligence that's being gathered through different media outlets, through social media, and then we try to plan accordingly.
And I guess what kind of work is being done from law enforcement? Are you working to identify some folks who caused this damage? And how do you do that when a lot of folks have face coverings on?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to identify them with face coverings. A lot of them, they just throw their, whatever it is they're going to throw, and then they're going to get out of here. Okay, so we do not want to be confrontational with them, because that's what some of these people are looking for. They're looking for a confrontation with the police. So from our standpoint, if they're running away, the problem's leaving. Okay, so unless we absolutely have to arrest, which there was some arrests last night, as you know. I don't have a number for you, but the best course of action for us is just to try to steer them away from the area, and hopefully they'll stay away.
Okay. And you said you don't have numbers. Do you know how many folks were booked into the jail last night?
I know that when I was leaving last night, I saw a couple dozen people being walked through here to get booked in, but as far as total number of arrests last night, or our total population in the county jail right now, I don't have that number available at the moment.
Okay. And can you talk a little bit about tactics, what deputies were doing last night to hold the Justice Center, and a little bit about what your plans are in case things continue today?
I think we're gonna continue on the same course of action we were yesterday. We're trying, as I said, we're for the most part trying not to be confrontational with these protesters, because again, that's what some of them are looking for. I mean, they're up at the line, they're up at the fence. They're calling us names. They're throwing bottles at us. We're trying to protect ourselves. Again, if we start in a confrontational way, it's just going to open things up even further. We've given them what they wanted, and we don't want to give them that. They certainly do have a right to protest. We would like for them to do it in a peaceful fashion. but we also want to avoid any confrontation with them as well.
Okay. I'm wondering really quickly, you said incendiary devices. What are you speaking of?
We were getting like smoke grenades, pepper foam grenades, and this whole lobby yesterday afternoon was filled with smoke, and smoke alarms were going off, and it was pretty tough to breathe in here yesterday.
Smoke grenades came into the building?
Well, what happened was we have deputies that are going in and out of the building through the front, deputies, Cleveland policemen. This whole lobby was full of law enforcement yesterday. And so as the doors are opening, the residue's coming inside, and so it's affecting everybody. We had it in here, you know, just the outside air getting pulled into the building brings it in, all right, through the ventilation system, through the HVAC system.
Okay. And one more thing, I'm wondering, any deputies injured yesterday? We heard Chief Williams talk about some minor, perhaps, injuries with Cleveland Police. What about your guys?
No injuries to my deputies. A lot of the injuries that I observed yesterday when I was here were due to, guys getting, absorbing tear gas, things like that. Okay, eyes burning, their mucous membranes getting affected, and so we were washing a lot of eyes out, a lot of noses and everything else. But fortunately, knock on wood, nothing major where anybody had to be hospitalized. At least what I know of on this side of town. I don't know what went on over by the Terminal Tower or some other areas of downtown.
Okay. And any parting words you can share with the community? Concerned about the damage, concerned about the Minneapolis situation. What would you like to tell your community?
Well, the damage can be fixed. The damage can always be repaired. I think that a lot of what can't be repaired and is going to take some time. It's almost like a grieving process. We've seen a lot of the city destroyed, and it's sad. Sad thing.
What about folks upset about George Floyd? What about for them?
We extend our condolences to them. We're not the evildoers that we're portrayed to be. I got guys giving. Excuse me. I got guys giving 110%, and we're trying to do our job. We're trying to make a living and protect the public. So.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff.